But Paul Ryan says, we have in our inner cities, his phrase, we are dealing with, quote, a real culture problem in those communities. He says, quote, we have got this tailspin of culture in our inner cities in particular of men not working and just generations of men not even thinking about working or learning the value and the culture of work. So there's a real culture problem here that has to be dealt with. Now, why would he talk like that? Back in 1981, after Lee Atwater helped run Ronald Reagan's campaign for president, Lee Atwater was interviewed by Alexander Lemus, and a recording of that interview ended up in the hands of Jimmy Carter's son, James Earl Carter, grandson, James Earl Carter IV. And The Nation magazine published it. And what Lee Atwater said was, and I'm going to tell you what he said, and then I'm going to play it for you. You can actually hear him say it, but it's a little hard to hear some of it, so I'm going to tell you first. He says, you start out in 1954 by saying, and he actually uses the N-word, but N-word, 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 and we've bleeped that, but you'll hear it. He says, by 1968, you can't say N-word. That hurts you. It backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract. Now you're talking about cutting taxes and all these things. You're talking about our totally economic things, and a byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. We want to cut this, Republicans should say it that way. We want to cut this is much more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than N-word, N-word. You didn't bleep the last two? Okay, you can just cut it before we get to the last two, okay? We'll just stop right there after he says a hell of a lot more abstract than. Here is Lee Atwater.
You start out in 1954 by saying, by 1968 you can't say that hurts your backfire, so you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes, and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other. You follow me? Obviously, sitting around saying we want to cut taxes, we want to cut this, and we want is much more abstract than
even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than saying N-word, N-word. This is Lee Atwater laying out the strategy in 1981. Paul Ryan fulfilling the strategy right now. Here's another example. Back in 1980, another guy who worked on Ronald Reagan's campaign, Paul Weyrich, who went on to co-found the American Legislative Exchange Council. ALEC was one of the guys who helped pull together the Heritage Foundation, and several other these right-wing think tanks worked on every Republican presidential campaign right up to and including George W. Bush. He's now deceased. But he was he was the guy who ran the direct mail operation in Reagan's campaign in 1980. And back then, direct mail was what the internet is today. He raised the money. He made it possible. He made it work for Ronald Reagan. This is Paul Weyrich speaking to a group of Republican Christian activists in a church basement in Dallas, Texas in 1980. Here he is.
Now, many of our Christians have what I call the goo-goo syndrome. Good government. They want everybody to vote. I don't want everybody to vote. Elections are not won by a majority of people. They never have been from the beginning of our country, and they are not now. As a matter of fact, our leverage in the elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down.
It's right there. And to take this back to Paul Ryan, what is Scott Walker doing in Wisconsin right now? Cutting early voting. I mean, and not just in Wisconsin. You got, some 15, 20 states where Republicans are aggressively making it harder for people to vote. 1980 has come to roost in 2014. These guys are playing from the exact same playbook they have been playing from since 1980. And there you hear it in their own words.